Well, good morning, everyone. It is 7:05 in the morning. It is a Tuesday morning. It is another day on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of you. It is a day to be celebrated because this day was never promised. And you may not believe this, but last night somebody went to bed and it didn't get up this morning. And if you got the call, I say that's a pretty good thing. So it's time to rise and shine. The temperature outside this morning is well, it's not too bad outside this morning. As a matter of fact, the weather forecast for today is, believe it or not, just in case you want to know, the temperature outside right now is 53 degrees. Today we are going to have a high of I don't know what to say. What's the day high? Somewhere around 72 degrees. Going to have overcast skies with a 15% chance of precipitation. Slight chance of rain and showers. High about 72. Wind southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, 24% chance of precipitation. Cloudy. Slightly chance of rain and showers. Low near 60. Winds light and variable. On tomorrow, if we can really say that, 22% chance of rain or precipitation, whatever's going to fall out the sky. Cloudy skies early will become partly cloudy later in the day. High near 75. It looks like it's summer all over again. Again, right now, if you're just not getting out of bed, it is 53 degrees, 70 with a high today of 72, low tonight of 60. Good morning to you. It is time to rise and shine. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is called Decisions because everything we do requires us to make one. And even if we don't make one, well, we just made one, didn't we? Good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine.
We change the world in history right here where we're from. It's new beginning to you and me, cause we're not done. In our city, in our city, in our city, we're not done. I appreciate that.
And good morning, everybody. I hope this day finds you well. Well, just for the chronic complainer in Alabama, I'm just
In the quiet of the
I'm just putting this out for the chronic complainers about how Alabama's not this, Alabama sucks, Alabama, and some of those things may be true. Just for the chronic complainer, between now and the 26th of January, you can run for office. There are the qualifications are open. I mean, the qualifying is open from now to the 26th. You know what I want to see? I want to know if Jermaine Brown really gets on the ballot. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Anyway, good morning to you. It is a great day to be alive. Next up, of course, it is our daily bread, because that's what we do. Because, well, a word from on high is always a good way to start the day. Because I got to tell you something. There are some days, every day is a good day, but there are some days that are better than others. Good morning to you. We'll be back, our daily bread, after this. Every trial with lessons wrapped tight in every shadow, you are my life. Thank you, Lord, for the laughter and tears, for the strength you give in all my fears, in the rhythm of my heart. I hear your call.
Hello, thanks for joining us for Our Daily Bread. Your host is Les Lambourne.
Do you work for an audience of one? Julie Ackerman Link has written today's meditation titled, The Night No One Came. One winter night, composer Johann Sebastian Bach was scheduled to debut a new composition. He arrived at the church expecting it to be full. Instead, he learned that no one had come. Without missing a beat, Bach told his musicians that they would still perform as planned. They took their places, Bach raised his baton, and soon the empty church was filled with magnificent music. This story made me do some soul-searching. Would I write if God were my only audience? How would my writing be different? New writers are often advised to visualize one person they're writing to as a way of staying focused. I do this when I write devotionals. I try to keep readers in mind because I want to say something that they'll want to read and that will help them on their spiritual journey. I doubt that the devotional writer David, whose Psalms we turn to for comfort and encouragement, had readers in mind. The only audience he had in mind was God. Whether our deeds mentioned in Matthew 6 are works of art or acts of service, we should keep in mind that they're really between us and God. Whether anyone else sees doesn't matter. He is our audience. Matthew chapter 6, verses 1 through 7 reminds us that our giving should not draw attention to ourselves. That's Matthew chapter 6, verses 1 through 7. Take heed that you do not do your charitable deeds before men, to be seen by them. Otherwise you have no reward from your Father in heaven. Therefore, when you do a charitable deed, do not sound a trumpet before you as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory from men. Assuredly I say to you, they have their reward. But when you do a charitable deed, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, that your charitable deed may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will himself reward you openly. And when you pray, you shall not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the corners of the streets, that they may be seen by men. Assuredly I say to you, they have their reward. But you, when you pray, go into your room, and when you have shut your door, pray to your Father who is in the secret place, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly. And when you pray, do not use vain repetitions as the heathen do, for they think that they will be heard for their many words. Heavenly Father, forgive us for trying to do things to gather an audience. We have an audience of one, and you are the one we should serve. Help us to remember that today, for we ask in Christ's name. Amen.
An audience of one.
And as you think about today's meditation, remember, serve for an audience of one. My name is Les Lamborn.
An audience of one. The most important audience.
If you found help from today's reading, we'd encourage you to tell others about this ministry. And you can also check out odb.org for other resources that may be of help to you. Look under the Resources tab at the top of the page for more helpful material, such as Answers to Tough Questions, which covers a wide variety of topics. And you can read them online at odb.org.
That's right. This is Macmillan School of Communication out in Montgomery. This is all those little kids. I don't know what grade they're in, actually. Little kids. Alex, it's funny. I can't believe they did this so well. What's next? The United States Navy. The United States Coast Guard. Still haven't picked up that. No, it's not. We call them jarheads. Only affection them. They're known, though, as the United States Marines. I didn't see them over in Caracas that night. It's the Army Airborne, baby. They work. We got it. I'm good. I got it. Now I did find out something. See, I knew that we were going to find out more of what happened over there later on because the president's on TV, talking. And that's my man. I like Trump, but I don't like this issue. But they was on TV talking about nobody got hurt. Well, none of our folks are, but they did lose from my sources. Now they did lose. We did kill about 40 people. And you can't put them kind of bombs any place without hurting somebody. I mean, that's the whole purpose of shooting the bombs, so you can hurt somebody. And the problem with military in urban areas is that there's going to be somebody get killed as collateral damage. And I mean, one lady, I think that guy said it was an 80-year-old lady. I don't know. Again, nah. There's nothing the president can say to make me side with him on this. I thought that was a bad move. Again, if he was here in America, if Maduro was here in America and we found him walking the street, take him, get him to jail because he on our soil. But it's going to be a long time for anybody to convince me what we did was right, all in the name of drugs. I'm just, they may have pushed the drugs, but we sure asked for them. So we're trying to sway our conscience by going after them rather than going after the people in this country who are willing to pay astronomical prices for drugs because they want to get high. So I don't know. I'll never be okay with what he did. Then again, I still like Trump, but that don't make him perfect, do it? No, it don't. And this was an imperfect move in my mind. Now there are a lot of conservatives around the country who said that what we did was good. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Okay, there's always an opposite and equal reaction to every reaction that we take on this earth, and I'm just trying to figure out what's coming. And I won't be able to figure out what's coming. I don't know what's coming, but something will. You bet that something will, whether it's here or abroad. Something will happen. Good morning to you. Also want to tell you about our sponsor, One Stop Wireless at 334-320-2988, 3445 Atlanta Highway, corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard. If you need a cell phone, if you don't have one, or if you got one that you like it, but they turned it off on a brother because you just couldn't make that payment, don't worry about it. You can take that phone down to One Stop Wireless. They can get it back to working. That's right. They can get it back to working for you. Put it on their system, and you'll be up and talking in a day. It won't even take you a day. It'll take you maybe an hour or so. They'll hook that up for you. So, One Stop Wireless, again, it's right on the corner of Coliseum Boulevard and Atlanta Highway, right there in the Shell gas station. They got a store right there in the gas station, so you'll be able to, get some gas and get your phone done at the same time. All right. That's right. So if your phone's out, take it down there and let them get it back on. Or if you don't have a phone, they got plenty of phones. They got the Apples, they got the Samsungs, they got all kinds of phones down there. So go check them out. And they got internet appliances, which would allow you to get on the internet no matter where you are. You can be going down the street with this thing, and the kids can play in the car. They got this box, right? They can play in the car on the internet. Yes, your phone can be hooked up to it. Everything can be hooked up to it. It's really, really good. It's only $45 a month. Now there is a fee to get it set up, but I'm telling you something. No more having the kids fight each other about the tablets or anything like that. You can take your laptop, you can take your phone. Even if your phone's not on, you can still access the internet. And it's a little box, and you put it in the car with you, put it in the house with you, wherever you want to put it, and everybody's got internet. Okay, I'm just saying it's really a good deal. So again, One Stop Wireless, located at the 3445 Atlanta Highway, right on the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard. Okay, I want to thank them for having faith in us, so they can. We want to get them some business because we want them to stay friends with me. Okay, because I would say I got to feed the kids, but I don't. But still, we may have to. You never can. I got to feed myself. All right. So good morning to you. Hope this day finds everybody well. Now, before we get this day started, I'm going to show you guys something here that I said I knew was going to happen. And this is not going to end well. I just don't know for who. This is not going to end well. America is not a Muslim nation. We are a Christian nation for the most part. We don't mind Muslims coming here, celebrating their faith, carrying out their faith. That's fine. But when you try to change America into a Muslim, right? And this is what's happening in New York, my friend. This is what is happening in New York. Now, what I'm about to show you, I knew it was coming. I just knew it was coming. Okay, but I'm gonna let you guys show what's happening in New York right now, 5 times a day. 5 times a day. Okay, 5 times a day. Yeah, 5 times a day. This is what's happening in New York. Okay, and again, again, I mean, they voted for it. I mean, he didn't go in there. Uh, he didn't take it over by or by fear or by some unlawful method. He used the system because our American people have been so used to freedom until they really don't understand what's going on. But anyway, I forgot exactly what they call this. It is called what's it called? Anyway, it's a prayer 5 times a day.
Our hearing is on. Come here.
I think he's neighboring off of Texas.
Yeah.
And in the background, you hear the Muslim call to prayer. This is New York.
I never thought in my life he's gonna be here hearing this in the middle of New York. Good. I think we are hearing Azan. Come here.
Yeah. Muslim call it, they do it 5 times starting at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'll show you all that. Yep. It's coming to a town near you.
I never thought in my life he's gonna be here.
Now, if you listen to the background, you'll hear the horns going 5 times a day, starting at 5 o'clock in the morning in the city of New York. This is what they voted for.
Hearing this in the middle of New York. Good. I think we are hearing.
People say they can't believe they woke up and they were hearing the call to prayer, the Muslim call to prayer. And again, nothing wrong with it. That's what you believe. But to try to convert what? How many people in New York? 7 million people, 8 million people, a bunch of people. To convert them. Well, I don't know. Okay, but this is
Azan. Come here.
This is just the beginning.
Neighboring off of Texas.
Yeah.
Yep, just the beginning. Just the beginning. I'm just saying, just beginning. Yeah. Donald, I think I'm just gonna dump you from my show. I've never done that to anybody, but I'm going to dump you. Okay. Jesus was a Muslim by his submission by the will of God. And listen, and you may be right, but we know that the Muslim faith are the practices of Muslim, like one of the practices of Islam, a Muslim, whichever way you want. I don't really know what the actual official name is. That you actually have a right to lie to a Christian. Just lie to him. Just. I mean, don't tell them the truth. Just tell them a lie. And listen, hey, if that's what you believe, that's what you believe. Do we really want people to submit under the threat of violence, under the threat of? And I realize that's not what it's supposed to be. Well, he didn't claim Christianity because he was the Christ. The Christ, not. I mean, he didn't. Of course, he didn't claim it. He was the Christ. Okay, I mean, he wasn't going to claim it. That came after he left. Okay. And the Jewish thing, I don't know. Listen, any group of people who don't like another group of people because they happen to be different is no friend of mine. Let people live their own lives. But again, this thing going on in New York right now, I'm telling you, it is beginning of something, and it's not good. Okay, we are not an Islamic nation. We are, at least we call ourselves anyway, a Christian nation, and to try to force that lifestyle on America, this is not going to end well. It is not, for somebody, it is not going to end well. I don't believe that you should kill people because they're homosexuals. I think you should talk to them. and pray for them. But you shouldn't kill them. I don't believe in honor killings. Killing somebody because somebody did something wrong, a girl or whatever. Mandatory marriages to men much older than you are. Right. He was right. He was, but evidently, he didn't mind the call. And again, you know, it's like the Catholic. They do things I don't like, but Islam is incompatible with the Constitution of the United States. Their lifestyle is incompatible. Now, as a group of people, that's fine. You get in your own little sect there. You pray to whatever God you think you got to pray to, and all that stuff. But as a nation, oh no, this this ain't gonna end well. Okay, it ain't. It's not. And I don't even know what. But hey, they brought it upon themselves. They brought Mandami in, whatever hell his name is, and put him in there. And again, I'm not against people. I got a matter of fact, I read some of it. I can't read it all because I can't even understand most of it sometimes. But the parts I have read, it's kind of, and I've also read the Talmud. So I listen. People have a right to believe what they want to believe, but you don't try to change a country that is predominantly Christian. Okay, I mean, so I'm just saying it's not going to end well for somebody in this country to have the prayers 5 times a day in New York City, like this is Tehran or Iran or Iraq or a place like this. This is the United States of America. It is not our custom to do. Now, you want to put it in your house, that's fine, but have it blaring off the streets of New York, promoted by the government, which is against the Constitution. Okay, we are not. Our government is not supposed to, shall we say, be partial to one religion or no religion at all. That is a personal choice that you have the choice. As a matter of fact, let me see. What does that First Amendment say? First Amendment. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what does it say? I believe we dealt with that in the in the Constitution. Okay. Our country is not set up for what they are doing, and it's against the Constitution. And I don't know how it is going to work out. I don't know how it's going to work out in New York, but Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peacefully assemble and petition the government for redress of grievances. Okay, but this is the part that gets me. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. And the mayor of New York right now is exactly doing that. And I don't know how he is going to listen, I ain't never said MAGA was perfect either. Okay? But again, our government entities should not be in the business of promoting a religion. Not the government. Now, if the patrons of New York City got together and said, "Hey, we're gonna play this in our neighborhood," that's fine. But when government gets behind it, okay. Now, but he told everybody who he was. I mean, we knew who he was. They got a bunch of idiots in New York. They voted for their own demise, the rights. As a matter of fact, they got something in New York right now. And listen, you're missing the point. Prophets, there's nothing wrong with prophets, you, me, or anybody else praying throughout the day. Government, it's not supposed to promote a religion. in this country. I mean, it's like if Stevie went downtown right now and start saying playing Jehovah's Witness music. You know, we don't want to hear that from him either. Okay, if Trump gets on the thing, say, well, we're gonna play Catholic music all day long from the speakers of the White House. Well, I wouldn't like that either. Okay, you're promoting one religion over the other. That's what our Constitution strictly prohibits from the government, not from us. Not that's why the people always lose. They always lose when they get on football teams who pray before a game, because that's not government sponsored. That is the student body saying we want to do this. Okay, they're not forced to do it. They don't have to do it. And I'm telling you, this is not going to end well. Okay, it's just not. It's not. It's not going to end well. I'm just telling you, we don't live in a nation where we have to succumb or submit to any religion. None. Okay. Matter of fact, in America, you don't have to be religious at all. Okay. You don't have to be. What's that called? An infidel, whatever case may be. You don't have to be religious at all. Okay. So I'm just saying, you know, you might want to. What New Yorkers might want to rethink. I'm just going to see how long this is going to stay, because if our Supreme Court does not strike this down, then our country is gone. And the First Amendment is the most important amendment of all, and that's our reason. Because sooner or later, then, our podcast going to be gone, our radio show is going to be gone. That don't stand by the philosophy or the philosophical principles of Islam. I'm telling you, that religion is inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States. And so that's my thing. Now, as an individual, you got a right to pray for whoever you want to. Okay. Democrats arrested an old lady for praying. Listen, and again, that's not consistent with our Constitution either. You have a right to pray as an individual. You have a right to pray wherever you want to pray, as many times days you want to pray. But the government is not supposed to be involved with religion, promoting one over the other. Okay, that's what the First Amendment says. I'm just, So I guess we're just gonna the Constitution is hypocritical. Well, now you make an interesting point. The Constitution is somewhat hypocritical, quote unquote, because we as people are hypocritical. And we can be no greater than the Creator. The men who created the Constitution were just men. Because you're right, they gave more relevance to one group than they did another group. They did, because they are men. I expect men to fail, and I expect men to fail often. I do. But the Constitution itself is still the law, the supreme law of the land for the time being, until we get another one. And we may be looking at the beginning of that. And listen, Eric, the president can stand anywhere he wants to holding a Bible. He cannot promote it. No. Okay. Now, somebody says that explain how the Constitution is hypocritical. I know the preamble to the Constitution, all men are created equal, are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, and amongst them, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we know that black folks wasn't given pursuit of nothing except a hard time. But then that's the preamble. But those are the principles by which the Constitution was formed. Okay, so it is somewhat hypocritical sometimes, but it's still the best. It's the best Constitution in the world. Okay, they bless their troops in God's name. Well, we are a Christian country. Okay, but we don't promote it. You can't make people sit there and be a Christian in the military. You can't. You can't make it. You can't make them be a Jehovah's Witnesses. You can't make them be anything. They don't have to go to church at all if they don't want to in the military, because the government cannot force you to a certain belief. And Mandami, whatever the hell his name is in New York, is forcing people to listen to his belief system on the speakers of New York. And I'm telling you, there's something wrong with that. Okay, because how well, I'm gonna put it this way: how would you like to go down to the city hall and there's a preacher? Okay, well, he can sell them. I mean, listen, the Bible said that piece of material is nothing but a book, like any other book. You know, you can sell books. They don't give Bibles away free in the store. Even in the bookstore, you got to buy it. So that's, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. You know, and now you got it all online, so you don't even have to buy it anymore. You just download it. I mean, no, I'm just saying. You know, we sell a lot of things in America. Okay, it's a, we bless the truth, and even in the army right now, even in the military right now, you cannot promote one religion over the other. Okay, it has to be, even your sermons have to be somewhat generic. Okay, somewhat generic. I'll have to get an army chaplain on, because they can't do what they used to do. Okay, uh oh. Show me a Christian who is in submission to his will to do wrong. Show me any man that's perfect. Show me any man that's perfect. Show me. Muslims are not perfect. Christians are not perfect. Latter Day Saints are not perfect. Jehovah's Witnesses are not perfect. We're not perfect. If we were perfect, we wouldn't need Jesus to die on the cross for us. Who do you think is promoting it? Promoting what? Where? Promote what? You got me on that one. But anyway, if the government, but as an individual, as a group of individuals, but anybody in charge of a government office is not allowed to promote a religion. Not in America. At least not until right now. The purpose of prayer. Well, I think we all believe in prayer. It is the way, prayer is the way we communicate to the Holy One. I got that part. There's nothing wrong with praying. But the government is not supposed to promote one religion over another. It is succinctly clear in the Constitution of the United States, the First Amendment. It is not their job to tell me what to believe. I have to figure that out for myself. Okay. And this guy right here, I'm just telling you, this New York thing. Y'all just sit back, get the popcorn, and let us, because somebody is going to complain about this. Well, I come to think, but they're already complaining about it already. So that's okay. Again, I just say either we're going to have a constitution or we're not. Now, if you don't have one, I'm pretty much just as poor then as I am now. But since we do have one, okay, now Kevin is talking with a forked tongue. Just tell me where the forked tongue is, and I'm good to go. Okay. If you want to wake up in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 times a day, to whatever this thing is called, it's called something. I don't know. Wait. Let me let you hear it again, because obviously you don't you don't get it. So let me see if I can. There we go, right there. Okay, let me see.
I think we are hearing Azan. Come here.
Now listen to the background. You will hear the call to prayer, and it's 5 times a day in New York.
I think we day pretty off of Texas now.
Yeah.
I hear it. That's New York. You would think this was to land someplace.
I never thought in my life he's gonna be here hearing this in the middle of New York. Good.
People probably woke up with PTSD this morning. You know, they say, "What the hell is that going on?" 5 times a day. And again, if you want to do it voluntarily, that's cool. But the government, the mayor of New York, doesn't have the constitutional right or the privilege to force a religion in this country on anybody. Okay, I mean, put on your headphone there, Mr. Mayor Mandami, and you can listen to it 15 times a day if that's what you want to do. But the purpose of prayer is so we can communicate with the Holy One, with God Almighty. That's why we pray. Because we can't call him up on telephone. He don't have a cell phone number. Okay. Matter of fact, prayer was the first cell phone that was ever invented. It was the first wireless. It was the first wireless communication device ever invented, and it still works today. Still works today. Anyway, so much for that one. And if y'all disagree with me, well, you just got to disagree with me. But read the Constitution, what the First Amendment says. Okay, we don't have a right. We do not have a right to force our religious beliefs on anybody if we are in charge of the government. Okay, and that's the problem. Not individuals. Individuals can pray and sing and do all the things they want to do, but you are not allowed to do that. Okay, and then now here one of the sisters out. Okay, so tell me where I'm lying. Come on, tell me where I'm lying. Tell me where I'm lying. Just tell me. Okay. I bet most of our troubles come from being devoid of prayers and reading of scripture. Listen, I personally don't disagree with that. You know, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but it is not for in our country. It is not for us to determine what religion is the one for us. Okay, I'm just saying it's not for us to determine that. It's not a government entity, but as an individual. Okay. Now, I'm supposed to have sometimes this morning. I've been calling Mr. Sankey, Isaiah, try to get to find out something about this penny thing. Dr. Lisa Keith should be joining us in the 8 o'clock hour at some point in there to tell us a little about what's going on. City Council meeting today, and the Montgomery County Commission meeting today. Yeah, I wonder why they meet on the same day. I think they're trying to trick a brother. They don't want us to be able to go to both of them. I mean, the county commission meeting should just take 10 minutes. I mean, don't do a whole lot, no way. But anyway, that's enough of that. I will bet I am not supporting Arab culture wrapped in Islam. Okay, that's good. And again, you can support whatever you want to support because you're an individual. This is only what I'm saying is only for people. Okay, for people who are in charge of our government entities. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Constitutionally, morally, listen, you can pray anytime you want to. Like prayer in school. We didn't take prayer out of school. We took the government out of prayer in school. There's not an individual in public school who can't pray. Not one. Not one. Okay? So, but the government can't make you pray. Because remember, used to be, we had to, even the Pledge of Allegiance came under assault. And listen, I kind of understand that. Don't make me. What if I don't want to pledge allegiance to the flag? I'm sitting there pledging allegiance, don't even know why I'm doing it. Okay, so that was just the first thing I had in my mind this morning because it kind of shocked my conscience yesterday when I got this word about what was going on in New York. And what goes on in New York, they end up moving down to Alabama, they end up moving to Indiana, they end up moving everywhere else. And next thing you know, somebody's trying to change our whole culture. Okay. And so I don't think the Constitution is hypocritical. I think that men are hypocritical often. I mean, the notion that we even thought that people should be enslaved in America, the quote unquote Christian country, is so hypocritical that, I mean, we were built on hypocrisy. But the nice thing about America is that I think most of the time we figure out we did something wrong, we will try to straighten it out. Sometimes we even go to the extreme the other way. like the DEI programs and all that kind of stuff, which I thought was crazy. You can't get back what you can't get back. Okay, you can't undo what happened in the past. It's there. You can't undo it. The best we can do. The best we can do. Okay, so Dr. Lisa is going to join us around 8:15 or so. Okay, I ain't gonna move on. What do you mean move on? Listen, this because Americans are funny. We won't say nothing until it's in our face and it's too late. I ain't gonna move on. This is you must are you Muslim? The person that texted me, are you Muslim? I mean, again, I don't have anything against it. I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want to go down to City Hall and see a preacher inside City Hall giving sermons. Okay, I don't want to see that either. If Stephen did that, I'd be on him too. Now, somebody to lead prayer at the council meeting, I don't have a problem with that. The government's not. He asked them to come do it, but not. And everybody there in the hall don't have to believe what the preacher's saying. Again, that's just the way things are around here. Anyway, so moving right along to other things. Tell me to move on. I think that listen, we need to spend more time talking about things of substance. Okay, because that's how we got all off kilter. That's how Trump ended up in the White House, and I'm glad he did for that time being. I ain't too much with on this Maduro thing, but that's how he ended in the White House. And the one question that nobody has answered me since we've been whining about Trump: how did a guy get in the White House to be president of the United States that has never ever held a political office? How did this happen? He didn't listen. He didn't start as dog catcher. He didn't start as the guy working for the county commission or the city council. No, he went to the top of the hill, baby. How did we get him? How did he get in? And when you can answer that question, you'll see how he got. You'll see why he's there. Because all these so-called sophisticated, educated individuals in this country who were running was giving us the same. And one thing about Trump, he ain't boring, and he don't put out the same crap every day. Well, some of it he does, but how do we get there? That's where the shame of this comes from. If there is any shame attached to it, is because we keep voting for people like they did in Mandami, and Mandami right now is fitting to do something with the. Now I kind of agree with them in a way on this one. The housing in New York, and it's getting that way here in Montgomery. That poor folks can't afford to live in the city they were born in. They just can't afford to live, especially older folks. And so now he's going to, I think, raise the taxes and all kind of things, because you happen to have money. So why in the hell do you want to work hard in New York when all they're going to do is try to take your money? Get the hell out of there. If Montgomery came out with a 40% tax on groceries, I'm gone. Okay, I'm going out to Basin shop or something. I don't know, but so we allow things to happen and then wonder how we got here. Okay, listen, I need to talk about the state of Alabama. All this problem. What problem Alabama got? Now, Eric, you may be right about this one. Studies show Americans are becoming dumber. I don't think we're becoming dumber. We have access to more information now than we ever had in our whole lifetime. But I do think we are making it seem that getting the answer is more important than understanding the answer in America right now. We are teaching the test. We're teaching the answers to the test rather than understanding why the answers are what they are. I know that 2 + 2 is 4. But the question is, did I know that 1, 2, and 3 are part of that 4? You know what I'm saying? So it is, we're not dumber. We're not dumber. We're just not as smart and logical and reasonable as we used to be. Okay, we're not dumber. Because dumb means that you have the mentality of a third grader or 2-year-old. You don't understand anything. Okay. So I don't think we're coming. I think our education system in America is almost shot. Okay, I do. I think it's almost public school is almost shot. It just it just and in order to get the numbers that they want, they change the parameters. They change things in the school system. And Dr. Key can tell you about that when she calls in. But we change the way we count things now. You know, I'm saying we do a lot of different things that we normally wouldn't do. Okay, I do agree that in America is not good because America is a mystery Babylon. Well, you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's still the greatest country that I've ever been to. I've been to a few of them. It's still the greatest country I've ever been to. But we seem to forget the sacrifices that were made by many people to make us different. I don't want to be like every other country. I don't want to be like Tehran or Saudi Arabia or what's that one over there with all the money? Uh, with Dubai. I don't want to be that. If I wanted to be that, I'd go over there and join them. I don't want to be that. I want to be the way we are, and we're not perfect. Okay, we're not perfect. We are a country that still needs some healing, and we still need some straightening out because the Democrats run the education. That's true. Greg, I agree with you. I think if conservative ran our education system, we'd be a lot better off than where we are educationally. But we're not. We are going backwards. I mean, we really are. And again, I know people get tired of me saying this. When you teach people that a man can turn himself into a woman, the rest of it is over. The rest of us, education is gone. Okay, I mean, education is gone. When you get rid of logic and reason and common sense in education, education is gone. Okay, and that's just the way it goes. I mean, so and now you got kids who know the difference by nature, by a natural instinct between male and female. Um, and we still trying to teach those kids that trans this and trans that. First of all, there's no such thing as a trans anything. Nobody can turn themselves from one thing to another. Now, maybe on Star Trek, that was possible because we could, we could go from one place to another by the rearranging of the molecules in our bodies. Yeah. Okay. We can't do that anymore. I mean, Star Trek. We got a lot of things. Okay. Now, no, 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 no. The Department of Education gives us the map. Conservatives are no, we don't. No, 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 we don't. No, 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 no. We follow the script given to us by the Department of Education, which I'm with Trump. Get rid of it. Let every state run its own education system. Okay, let every state. No, we don't. We don't run it. In order to get the money, we have to do certain things. Like we got to put kids who are slow as I don't know what in the same classroom with kids who are smarter than I don't know what. So which slows everybody down. We're making and in the hood for years, if you walked around like you knew something, they said they used to call what okay. Let me give you a test. What did they call a brother who was smart back in the day? And we still do it sometimes. What do we call him? Come on now. What did we say he was doing? Come, come on. And that get and listen, come here. That education is still furnished by the Department of Education out of Washington D.C. because we want the money. If we told the government to take their money up theirs, we could run a much better system. But we want the money. Okay. And so in order to get the money, we'll bend over and let somebody ram us home. Okay. Okay. We'll just do it. We want the money. We have sold our souls and the soul of education in just about every place in America, except magnet schools and except private schools. We have sold our souls in order to get a check. Okay. Okay. I'm just telling. And the guy here, Mackey, I think Mackey's nothing but a Democrat. I like him. He got some weird ways, but that's okay. That's his life. He can do what he want to do. Okay. Alabama has had conservatives running the government since Guy Hunt was governor. They don't run the rules of government. I mean, they don't run the rules of education. That comes from the Department of Education. If you want to get the money, then you have to do certain things. Like you cannot suspend people. Like in Alabama, you can't suspend people for a certain amount of time, and after that, you got to let them back in school. We don't have a school for incorrigibles. We used to have that. We don't have that anymore. We got all women on the school board, which is not a great thing because women are nurturers rather than disciplinarians. We can't do anything. We have to. I went to one of the high schools here, letting guys come to school with a dress on. I mean, because we want the money. We are willing to do anything because we want the money. Okay, we're sold ourselves. But it amazes me that private schools get less money and do a better job. Guy Cross don't get the government money. I don't believe that. At least I don't think so. I don't know that we get, and they do an outstanding job. Outstanding job of educating our kids. So again, we are still led by the rules of the Department of Education. What's that? DE, Department of DEO or whatever it is. Department DOE, whatever it is. Department of Education. Okay. The minister. Okay. Are you talking about Joe? Now, I think I got my phone squared away. I'm not exactly sure. I think I do, though. I think I do. I think I figured out what it was yesterday. I was kind of hit the wrong buttons. So I'm trying to do. I got 4 screens in front of me here, and I'm trying to figure out how to hit the right button sometimes. And sometimes I don't hit the right button. But let me see. I think let me make sure my numbers working here because I want you. So I want you guys to chime in because I'm not right about everything, just mostly everything. Multiple mentions of ABCNews.com statement, blah, 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 blah. The January 6th plaque made to honor law enforcement. Poor white trash got tired of rich white trash. So they elected your guy. That's not. So poor white trash got tired of rich white trash. And so we put Trump in the White House. No, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. People kept hearing the words from everybody, from every politician, like Alabama, like now that the from now to the 26th of this month, you're able to put your name on the thing for lieutenant governor, governor, and a few other offices out there, and you see, and what really surprised me is Phil Inslee. Phil Inslee, I thought he was going back to New York. He is going to. Do you think class sizes have? Yes, absolutely. I mean, until you get to the college level, yeah. I think that the classroom size certainly, especially if you turn around and have classrooms with no discipline. Absolutely. It makes a big difference. I don't know what the optimum number of people to have in a classroom is. I'd say maybe 15 to 20. 15 to 20, I think is good. I don't think that we need that much more than that because, especially with no discipline. So if you add no discipline, okay, too many people in the classroom and a curriculum that's somewhat insulting to the intelligence, I think you have the recipe for a failed school system. And we do. Yeah, I do. I think, yeah. I believe that the classroom size are too big. And funny thing about it, now here's the thing about I don't understand about our schools, but when Lisa comes on, we'll hopefully she'll talk to us about that because we got less students in the system now, and they're still asking for more money, but they don't give us discipline. So because we make all these excuses, let me tell you something, and to Mackey and to all these people, if you don't discipline them, if you don't get disciplined at home, you don't get it at school, where do you think you're going to get it? You're going to get it in the streets, and you're going to get it in jail or in prison. Those 3,200 bed prison that they building, we'll be building another prison in 10 years to put the overflow in it. Okay, no discipline means no order. Okay. Now I'm going to see if my phone is working. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, listen, when Lisa come on, ask her that 1 cent that you all keep talking about. Is that the 1 cent that they were supposed to return to the taxpayer after it expired?
No. That's not what it is. The
I said ask her. I didn't
okay,
say ask
but I know this because I had a conversation with the guy yesterday. This is not a government. The people never voted for this. For the money they're talking about, the people never. And it's something that the city council, the county commission came up with. And all they want to do is take a portion of that money and put it toward law enforcement and a couple other things. They don't want to get rid of the whole money, all the money.
Listen what I'm saying. What is that tax? Remember we had two. You were gung-ho for the taxpayer paying more money to the system so that Montgomery Public School would get all of the money that's due them. You remember you advocated that passed. But there was another tax, that 1% tax that was supposed to be coming up on the expiration date. That's the reason I said ask her.
Well, when she comes on, we will. Man, hey, can you hear me over there? I don't know if anybody can hear you on the phone. That's what I'm
I
telling
don't know because I got my computer turned down and I'm out of state.
You're out of state.
Mm-hmm.
Even you trying to get the hell out of here. Okay. All right then. Well, anyway, I want somebody to tell me out there. Did y'all hear my call on the phone? 'Cause I think I just got another button kind of screwed. See, I can't fix this unless I got somebody on the phone and somebody listening at the same time. Okay, well, listen. I'll answer when he gets in.
Bye.
Where is that penny coming from? Or they're not trying to take the whole penny back. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Not trying to take the whole penny back. All they want to do is take a portion of that money and put it toward. Oh, good. Thank you very much. We want to take a portion of that money and put that money toward some other things. Okay. So it's not that they're not trying to take. And this was a penny not voted on by the taxpayer. It was voted on by the city council. By the county commission. So and I guess it is theirs to do away with or take some of it and put it someplace else. I would imagine that we do need some more money in law enforcement, but I still can't figure out why the sheriff doesn't seem to have a problem getting people to work. I don't understand that. Why he don't have a problem getting people. Thanks, Daryl. I don't know why he doesn't have a problem of getting people to sign up. Now, according to the mayor, and we're gonna get him on. Okay. So according to the mayor, though, he's got 1,000 people waiting to join. Okay. I think we should make an exception for marijuana, though. I think you can accidentally be smoking marijuana and don't even know it. I'm going down the street yesterday, right? I'm going down the street yesterday, and it felt like a marijuana factory was right next to me. The guy blowing so much smoke out the car until I said, "What the hell?" And they just driving. We should treat marijuana the same way we treat alcohol. If you're going down the street smoking marijuana, we are going to automatically assume that you are under the influence and give your butt a ticket and make you go to court. Because if it didn't do something for you, you would not smoke it. Okay? If you didn't, you wouldn't smoke it. The reason we smoke it because we get something out of it. I'm just saying. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Anyway, and this has got something to do, I think, I know. Did Elton Dean have something to do with this particular penny? I think he did, but I'll have to ask those guys when they show up today who had something to do with it. And I still haven't figured out where Tuberville lives. Okay, I've been going over the news trying to figure out what because according to the Alabama Constitution, you need to be a resident of Alabama at least for at least for 7 years. So I'm just not sure. Oh yeah, if he's been there, and we'll find out where he lives. Now, of course, he does have residences. Now, if you got money, then you can have a bunch of residences in a bunch of states anywhere you want to live at. They already do what? Oh, for marijuana? They do it for marijuana? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Well, why is everybody still smoking it then? Why are people going down the street and it smell like a marijuana factory right next to you? If they do that, I guess because we don't have enough policemen, out there guard. Because I know they smell some of this stuff. One time, a policeman was right next to me, and he smelled it too. But I guess he couldn't tell which car it came out of since everybody is smoking marijuana nowadays. What's so great about it? I got to try it, I guess, see, because it just stinks to me. Anyway, lesson of life today. The lesson of life today is this one. Okay, and this is the lesson of life today is from a quote by George Washington Carver. Okay, the Democrats right now, brother. I don't know if Republicans can pass a drug test at the moment. Anyway, today's quote comes from George Washington Carver. How far you go in life depends on you being tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant. Now, this is interesting. Tolerant with the weak and the strong. Because someday in your life, you will be all three. Now, that right there, you'll belong to each one of those groups. You'll be young, you'll get aged, you'll be striving, and you'll have to be tolerant with people who are smarter than you, richer than you, and you got to be tolerant with those who are not as smart as you and not have as much as you do. So just remember, how far you go in life depends on you being tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, tolerant with the weak and the strong. Because someday in your life, you are going to be, if you live, you're going to be all three. And this is from the great George Washington Carver, was a great man he was. Anyway, so more for that. And the word of the day. Now, this right here is an interesting word. That if you pronounce this word wrong in the wrong group, in the wrong, in the wrong company, they may misunderstand what you just said, and they may go upside your head. I'm just saying you might want to really, when you pronounce this word, you really pronounce this word succinctly and clear. Okay. Word of the day is enigma. Okay. Which means someone or something that is difficult to understand or explain. Enigma. Again, if you pronounce this word in polite company, you make sure you put that E on there. Okay. Enigma. Okay, else they'll think you said something else. Then next thing you know, we're gonna have to call the police and all those kind of things. So now, if you're not the master like I am of the English language, can pronounce all these words, you might not want to try this one. Enigma. Okay, I'm just saying you might want to. You might not want to. Yeah, you might not want to try this one. But it is a word, enigma. Someone or something that is difficult to understand or explain. Like me, I'm sort of like an enigma. Okay, I'm sort of like an enigma. I'm one of the few black folks in this town that is not a Democrat and not afraid to say it. I don't care, but I ain't a Republican either. But it looks like everybody thinks that if you're black in this city, you're gonna be a Democrat. I can't play. But now, if I had to be one, if they said it's a law, you must pick a party, I would pick the Republican Party. Not because they're better. They're just not worse. Okay, I think they believe that women are women and men are men, and I'm good with that. Let's start with the basics first. Their political party, their political philosophy, all of them got about the same one. They all believe pretty much the same thing. Okay, they all do. So no sense in me even acting like there's a difference. Now there's supposed to be a philosophical difference between both of these parties, but often it isn't. You know, it often isn't much difference at all. Uh, and again, that's how we ended up with Trump as president of the United States, because we began to see no difference no matter who we put in office. So why not try something different? We sure got different, and that's for sure. We certainly got different, and yeah. Well, we may not find out where he lives, but I mean, I like him. I mean, if he's on the ballot, out of all the people that are running, if he's on the ballot, I'd vote for him. Now we do got a black guy running, and we got a black women running. Matter of fact, Yolanda Flowers, I'll have her on either later this week or next week. There are 4 black women running for governor of the state of Alabama. Why? I don't have a clue. I know they're all broke, but however, I got to give him an A for effort. Okay, he has 2 residents. Yeah, and that's what I said. 2 residents. But now the governor's mansion and 2 Democrats heads. I don't know what that means, but whatever. Anyway, so, but you can't start off being wrong. But now, legally, can you have 2 places of residence? Yeah, so I don't know. Tupper has 2 residents. 1, the governor's mansion. 2, Democrats' head. Oh, I got you. I got you. I like Tommy Tuberville. He reminds me of Trump often. He's just a straight shooter, and I like straight shooting. If it looks like doo doo, it smells like doo doo, it feels like doo doo. Yeah, I know what it feels like. Then it's doo doo. Okay, stop. Let's call it. Let's stop calling it fish. Okay, doo doo is doo doo, and call it what it is, because you can never deal with the issue if you don't understand what it is. Okay, so I like Tuberville from that instance. I like him. Yeah. Again, now there's another black guy running named Boyd. No, not our Boyd here that puts on a great parade every year. We're talking about another guy named Boyd, Will Boyd, as a matter of fact. Does he have a chance? No. But I'm good from being out there. I'll tell you who the 4 women are later on. 4 black women, and I don't know why it's going to be hard enough for 1 black woman to win, and y'all going to put 4 out there. But I ain't mad at you. Well, one thing about it, you'll never win it if you don't run in it. So that's for sure. But I'm still trying to figure out how Kay Ivey won. Oh yeah, wasn't she the vice? Wasn't she the? Wasn't she the? When I got here, there was a woman who always wore red, who was what was her name? She wore red. Great personality. What was her name? She was the Secretary of State, or she was the she was something. Is that how what's name got in? Doesn't every man or woman? Yes, they do. They have a right to run, and I hope they take advantage of that right. Um, I think they have. Yeah, sure, they have that right, and so that just I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I haven't been too successful at it. There, Big Daddy Maine. My advice would be to ask somebody besides me. Okay, that's all I can tell you. All right then. What else is going on? What else is going on? So we ain't figured out well time, but I have figured out something that a lot of people in education don't quite know. Yeah, Jamel Brown is going to shock the world. Yeah, I'd be shocked if he comes up with the money to run. That's what get me. I'd be shocked if he comes up with the money to run for governor. That'd be one shock that I'll be shocked about that one. But I heard somebody say the other day they're going to pay it for him. So let me get this right. You're going to run for governor, but you can't come up with the money unless somebody pays it for you. Now that would tell me if you're going to be a leader, that means you have people following you, right? That means you have people following you, and you should be able to. You should do. Oh, there's Lisa. Well, good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, Mayor of the Radio Waves.
Although you did pay a lot of money for that degree, so let me say, Dr. Lisa.
But you know what? I hear how you talk about people like me, and I'm just normal old folk. I don't even make people call me doctor ever. So
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but anyway, a lot of there's a lot of things going on, and this is I don't exactly know what the whole penny thing is all about, but explain to us what's going on with this thing.
okay, what that is, it was something really Elton Dean came up with. From the county commission probably 20 years ago as a way to help our kids. And it did. And we've been getting it for 20 years. But as you know, 2 or 3 years back, we had to do the property tax because even that wasn't sustaining us. So, you know, and if you remember, you know, Lisa Keith was the one against the property tax. I wasn't for it at all. Now that we've done it, now that I've seen all the, you know, what it has done for our system, you know, building new schools, getting new programs, just the things that it's actually done for us, I realize, you know, I was wrong in that. And now what's happened is Doug Singleton has proposed that the county commission, which is over it, come back in and take 4.5 million of it, 10% of it, do a 90-10 split. And I don't mind being honest of my ignorance. I thought when I heard it was 90-10, I was like, that's not so bad. You know, I'm not the money man. I don't know what money goes into that. I didn't know it was 4.5 million. I'm being completely honest. When I found out from Dr. Bird, hey, this is 4.5 million, the day after we found out that we were partnering with the initiatives and stuff with Trenum, he said it will not sustain us. We'll lose it. And here you have, I mean, it's no secret. The mayor, the president of the chamber, and Buckaloo, we haven't been on the same page. In fact, it's gotten down and ugly on my part. I think on their part too. But I've not, I think, you know, I have a pretty fearless personality. Maybe I was born with that bone. I don't know. But I'm going to go at it, especially when it deals with our children. And what the proposal is they take that 4.5 million, and as if you've read the 1819 news, which to me is one of the news channels people ought to be listening to because they do tell the truth. They do search it out, and I'm appreciative for Caleb that does the work with 1819. But if you see what Doug's doing, he switches up as soon as he gets called out for it. You know, it was Jackson Hospital. Well, first it was healthcare. Healthcare is Jackson Hospital. And let's face it, there's a reason. If it is Jackson Hospital, he ought to be abstaining. You know, he's got a family member that works for Jackson. And he also works for a company that sells a lot of equipment, millions of dollars equipment, which is questionable in itself. But let's move on. Don't want to get in trouble there. That probably Jackson Hospital owes him a lot of money. But he carefully said not Jackson Hospital. He didn't say not. He just said healthcare. The sheriff's hub, I agree with. I think anything that he wants to do to help crime in this city, I have no qualms with, no problems with, and I'm fine with it. But spending children's money, I do have a problem with. And I'm explain that to you in better terms in a second. And the third one was Whitewater. I mean, Whitewater, you've done it on your own show. We owed 45 million. We've gone to 100 million, and the projection is 115 million. And what this is, let me break it down to when I've had to explain it to children that have come to me and talked to me exactly what it is. It's sort of like having children, and you've got this will, and the will has been, you know, is divided carefully between every member of the family. And then you have an executor of that will that makes sure that everybody gets their fair share. Well, that's what the county commission is. And what Doug has done, and I note, I use his name. I use his name because of the way he spun it. He has put a spin on this to make it look like, you know, he'll go, he's very carefully, to me, I call it paying him off. I don't know any way to call it, but you go and you give Pike Road money, discretionary funds for football, for band equipment, and then you get the guy to go on 1819 and go, oh, this is not the board's business. No, it's not the board's business. But guess what? Neither was it the county commission's business. And let's not call it the county commission. Let's call it Doug Singleton. Let's call it Doug Singleton. Okay. There might have been one other board member or member of that little commission that came out, but there was a few in this city that did not like our superintendent. And let's just put it blank. Why? Black people have their own prejudice within the black race. The blacker you are, hey, you're colored, or whatever it is. I don't know. But what they've done, they've even got the white man to think that, Kevin. They really have, and that's sad. That is sad to me that you got to look at the color of somebody's skin and think that they can't run a city. What if they did that to the mayor? I have a problem with that. And the fact that I'm speaking real and telling it like it is, it's sad that we have a community like that. Now, let me say some positive stuff here. You had I know it sounds like I'm being negative, but you had the mayor just recently, it's 2 weeks ago, maybe let's call it 3. I think it was the 6th of December, or maybe it could have been the 11th. It was somewhere in that week. But you had the mayor and you had Ann Buckalew come to a press conference with Trenum University, where we were, breaking it out that, hey, we are on board with them and we've got a shared partnership. And it was Ann Buckalew that got up there and said, let's put down our egos and let's start building the city together. Let's help these children together. And I believed her. I still believe Ann Buckalew. I went up and I hugged the woman. It wasn't fake because, hey, I might be running for the board of the local board, which we don't know if I'm running for the local board. I'm thinking about running state, believe it or not. Haven't made up my mind on that. But let me tell you something. I did feel she was genuine. Whether I get reelected or not makes not a hill of beans to me, and everybody knows that. Because when you looked at my post, I am ashamed at some of those elected officials out there that can't stand up on their feet and say what's going on, because it's sad they can tell somebody else to tell me because they know, hey, let's use Lisa. Let's use Lisa. She'll tell her story. Well, you can use Lisa. Lisa doesn't care because you know what? And I mean this. I am very God driven, and whatever there is not a person in my family. My mom is dead. My aunt is dead. My dad wasn't around to see me go on the board, but not a one of them with what I have right now on my face, which you can't see it. And I take enough whatever to keep it away from me. I have post-trigenial neuralgia, and everybody seems to think that it's been caused from the stress of me serving on this board. I serve on this board because I'm God driven. If God doesn't want me to have it, if he feels that my illness is in any harm, you know what? Whatever race I won is not going to matter. That's not what's important right now. Right now, what's important is that 4.5 million. I 100% believe it's going to be taken. And like I said yesterday, I didn't learn until yesterday, and it was a very good source, that supposedly the Chamber of Commerce has paid $700 million already towards Whitewater, with the promise that Doug Singleton's going to get it back. Well, how do you think he's going to get it back? You can't take everything that he's planning on doing, from the hospital to a sheriff's hub, which that's the one thing I do agree. And I do agree that the hospital should stay open, but not at the expense of our children. I guess I need to breathe and get a drink of water. Go ahead. Any questions?
Well, listen, I don't have a problem with the money that's being invested in Whitewater. Yes, it has overrun its projected budget, but we need something in Montgomery besides race issues to bring people to the city.
Okay, but let me explain. Number one, there was no feasibility study on that at all. We found out that Pam Cloud went and figured that one out. Okay, let me tell you, and another great board, but I could not do what I'm doing without Pam Cloud. I will tell you that I could not do what I'm doing now without the help of Mary Briers. But here's the deal: I totally am fine with Whitewater. But have you been to Whitewater? Do a test of who's been to Whitewater, who hadn't been to Whitewater. I guarantee you most Montgomeryans haven't. And when they have gone, they found out the price of food there, which is far over the budget of anybody living even remotely close to where Whitewater is located.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but listen, they don't really care about that when it comes to taxing our real estate, our house. So
Oh,
So nobody really concerned about how much money we got or don't have. They still want the money.
oh, I agree. But like I said, you know what? Open up affordable restaurants, open up affordable businesses over there. I mean, if you want to spread the business, I'm all for putting it over there. But here's the problem, okay? You don't have it over there, and they're so busy focusing on one thing, whitewater, when they're not look. It's just sort of like education. That is why I want to run for state board of education, because you got a bunch of educators on the state board that are not educators. And what they've done, think about it. We have a shortage of teachers right now. And why? Because of stupid things like MTSS, like the praxis. Let me tell you something. I know you'll agree, and we've never talked about this. But back in the day, teachers didn't take a praxis or some test to test could they actually teach our kids. We have 495 uncertified teachers because we can't get the real teachers to teach because of the junk the state is passing down. We can't get out of the way of our own self for anything. And so what now we have to go get, they are degreed. Our uncertified people do have degrees. But imagine having an engineering degree and being having to take a trigonometry test, okay, or something like that. Kids aren't even. If you look at the percentage of kids taking trigonometry, no wonder our tests are not testing to the test for the teachers or students. And then we have a chronic absentee problem. And our board is responsible for that. And I'm gonna put my dig out there. We have a board that is going to take at least 4 of us to fix the chronic absentee problem. That changed when part of it changed when they changed a child will not miss more than 10 days. Now it's may not. Remember Mother May I? Mother May I means you might not. So we've got a chronic absentee problem, not only of our children, but of our kids. Aronde was on Facebook yesterday. You might have seen his Facebook post. We have a huge chronic absentee problem.
But that is, well. Let me ask you. And again, I don't care if only 3 people show up to school, as long as those 3 people there learn and they actually learn something. I don't want the bad guys in there. Let them
Okay,
stay.
stop. Remember those MTSS? It is forcing teachers to reteach. I am a board member that I am. When I don't just talk the talk, I'm gonna walk that walk. You won't hear me ever talking. Like I said, hey, you want to talk about money? When I admitted at the very beginning of today's show, didn't know that 90-10 split. I mean, honestly, hey, I thought we were getting the majority. Hey, go with it. It wasn't until I knew it was 4.5 million. The point that I'm making is there's so much. When I talk about math, I don't know, but when you test people in areas that they don't know, example, let's take English. Okay. Well, I teach English. I looked at the English, which I speak my own language, but when you teach English, yeah, there's grammar, but who on a test is going to take a line of a poem and know who wrote that? Are they going to know Robert Frost wrote it, or William Shakespeare wrote it, or T.S. Eliot? Who wrote that? No wonder teachers are failing the praxis. We can't get outside of ourselves, Kevin.
Let me ask you a question. And it seems to me that the education system is devouring itself. And what I mean, I come to your
Amen.
office. I got a college degree, and you telling me my college degree. Now you got to test me again.
Yes, sir.
To see whether or not I can teach when I got a
I'm
degree.
telling you, let me take the test today in any subject, I would fail it. I don't mind telling y'all that. I would fail it. That's real.
So why do y'all put up with that?
That's a state thing, and that's why I've actually considered running for the state. Dr. Bird, I will tell you, that is a man that cares about education more than any man I've ever seen. He was around during the grade changes. That is why I wanted him. He knew the culture of our system. He knew what to do with it. There's even people sitting on my board that I sit with right now. And let's go to your discipline problem. Let's just go off on that. You said, let's see if we can fix discipline. You know what I get? Because we are outnumbered, two whites and 5 blacks. We get Well, Lisa, that's just our culture. No, no, it's not your culture. You know what? We
Somebody
got
said
rid of
that?
culture. It's not your culture.
What
You
is
know,
it?
thank you, Kevin. And see, that's what that I'm going to bring up Mary Briars, for example. Okay.
Hmm.
Mary, a lot of people, when you don't know Mary, it's easy to judge Mary. When you don't know Lisa, it's easy to judge Lisa. But a lot of people don't understand that Mary doesn't see color. She doesn't. Neither do I. You're going to vote for what's right and what's wrong, not what's black, what's white, what's Democrat, what's Republican. That's what's wrong with our world right now. If you look at, I don't want to go to Trump, but let's just go there. It doesn't matter if you have the Democrats and the Republicans in the same building or whoever's under the president, whoever's speaking, when our children watch our leaders, Democrat or Republican, that have been elected, sit down and boo or put their head down, and that's been going on for years, shame on them. Shame on the Republicans, shame on the Democrats for doing that. And when you look at people, I'm just using Mary as an example, okay? She's going to fight for those children. She's not looking at what color you are or what party you are. It's the same thing when she ran the board, when she was the president. You were going to have one white president, you were going to have one black president. Okay, and then the next year you're going to switch. It's not about that. What it is about, people coming together, and more people are coming together than because they're seeing what's wrong with America. They're seeing what's wrong with the United States. And what's wrong is we're too busy being divided instead of trying to be united. And you know what? There's a lot of truth to what I just told everybody.
Let me ask you a question. There are less people in public school than when I got here in '91. They've got the budgets have keep going up exponentially all the time. They need more money. Why do we need to keep putting more money into a system when they got far less students than they used to have? Explain that one to me.
Good question. Okay, we get money per student. Now I'm going to give you, like I said, I'm not great at the math, but I'm going to tell you between 75, 8,500. I'll go as far as to 900 per student. But with the charter schools, with your Choose Act, what happens is these kids are pulled out at the very beginning when they're doing the numbers counting. Okay, take that. And that's money we don't get anymore. And we're talking 4,000 and 5,000 since I've been on the board. I mean, that much of a drop. Okay, well, let's say they get past October 1 and they start failing in the private school, or they are a discipline problem in the private school. Guess what? They're thrown right back into the public school, and we got to suck up that money that we didn't get from the first place. You take that from the schools that we're building. We've got Percy Julian going up right now as we speak, and that's going to be a beautiful school. We just finished building and putting BTW over there on Bell Road, and if you look at that, that looks like a college campus and is run like a college campus. And then we have Capitol Heights coming up. So look at how much does it cost to build a house today? I'm telling you, you've got to look just at that. And just let me give you one program alone. This is one thing that I fought for years. It was a program called Edgenuity. It was what kind of got me into the board in the first place, even though I didn't know that was the program. But it was credit recovery. If you remember, that was all the grade changes and stuff like that. It was systemic. Okay. Honestly, what that program was, you had to have a 40 minimum to get into it. And it was kids that didn't want to come to school, kids that were dysentery problems. And then there was that small percentage that really needed the program, that were actually sick and had ill health problems, that kind of stuff. And but here's the deal. Parents could take that for the kids. The neighbor could take it for the kids. And we had kids passing chemistry, no joke, in 3 days with a B. They had a 20 before they got in there, if that. And then they go in and take it in 3 days. I thought that, in fact, that was, let's put it out there. You got me on there. Melvin Brown, okay, our last superintendent. We had a awesome relationship. We really did. I was his fourth vote, no matter whether he stayed or goes, but he resigned. People need to remember, when somebody wants to resign, you don't stop them from resigning, because number one, it's a lawsuit. Okay. But the only time Melvin Brown and I went crosswise, there was only once, and it was over the program of Edgenuity. I wanted a new program called Schools PLP, which is a little bit more rigorous and made kids actually earn an education. He came to me 3 days before on September 13th, Friday the 13th. Okay, I'll never forget it. And he said, Lisa, he said, I'm off. I'm off by a week and a half. He said, would you be happy with doing Edgenuity, half Edgenuity, and half Schools PLP? You know what I said? I said, Dr. Brown, I said, I just want my foot in the door. I didn't make any, kickbacks or anything. And I'm not saying he got any kickbacks. I don't think he did. I never said he did. Okay. My whole thing was I wanted a rigorous program for our kids. That was our last fight. But you know what? I fought over that. And I want you to understand what Edgenuity cost us. $4 million for one itty bitty program. And you know what? Guess what Schools PLP did? 3 million. But everything goes up. Everything goes up. So when you ask me cost, if one little bitty program costs you 3.54 million, what do you think all the other programs on mental illness?
But now here's and listen, call me stupid, but if we are hiring teachers at okay salaries, why in the hell we need a program?
Well, let's talk about those okay salaries. 47.475. When we're paying central office 6 digits and we're 40 plus members over. I'm going to go back into the Ed Richardson days when he said, hey, y'all are top heavy. We're still top heavy. And here's the deal. I'm going to tell you this. I'm not condoning what Doug Singleton is doing, but it's a win-win. It is a win. It's more of a loss to the children. It's a win-win for Lisa Keith. It's a loss. It's a huge loss for our children. But when they do this, it forces us into a riff. It does. I don't care how you put it. It will force us into a riff. And guess where I'm going? I'll leave it at that.
Well, I guess education seems to be the only thing that has gotten worse with all the technological advances that we've done over the last 30 years, where everything else is improving, but education, it just doesn't seem to be.
No. We went up. Hey, you got to understand. It was explained that we went up to a 75C. Now you got to remember, Kevin, we were at an F. Okay, we were at an F. I was all, hey, bring in the charter schools, bring in school choice, and I'm not supposed to say this. I don't care. I say it like it is. I'm all about school choice. If a school isn't doing their job, it is ammo. It's a bullet for me to take to our superintendent and say, Dr. Zacchaeus Bird, do you see this principle that we had over here? It's not working. Can you tell me why it's not working? Some want to call that micromanaging. I'm not micromanaging. Hey, the data tells you everything. When you look at the data, and example, I just looked at BTW's data. One of my teachers went from just recently went from a 55 to a 77 in 1 year. That's progress. You don't see it everywhere.
It's still a C. I mean,
of 26,000 students. Come on, let's you got to look what's in that equation. You've got your sped students, your special ed. Everybody's included in those numbers. Okay, you've got to look. If you came out at an A, if you look at the bell curve, and if you look at the bell curve, a lot of kids don't even understand. If you look in the middle of that, just picture a bell curve. Most of us are going to line up right there in the middle. Okay, you got to understand 66% of the world is in that in that average. Right. You're supposed to be average. If you are in that, do you know what your the A's are? And do you know what the F's are? Across the world, 2%, 2%. 2% on the far end, 2%. It goes 2. This is the way it goes. You got 2, 16, 16, 33, 33. I think I did the numbers right. I say I'm bad at math, but on the bell curve, I'm pretty darn good. Go ahead.
Well, here's a question, and I guess everybody at some point is going to wonder about this. Why is there? I mean, there's a school. I think it's called Dunbar School in New York, who a black school, who pretty much outscored most schools in America, and this is early back in the 1900s because they shut the school down because I guess black folks were too smart back in those days. Um, what is the big problem? I mean, you go to school, you get a college degree, you come back out, you teach our kids, they go on and teach some. I mean, why is there such a problem with schools in America? Have we lowered the standards that low till we can't tell which way is up?
I think we've lowered the standards, and see, I'm going to bring it up again, MTSS, and I know I'm right on this. What you've done with MTSS, I didn't finish. I think I got off. I took my ADD self and went off in a tangent there. But you remember you said, I don't care if there's just 3 students in the
Right.
class. Remember you said that? Okay.
Hmm.
And I guess I just got off on a tangent. You should care because under MTSS, when a teacher starts teaching and our kids come in 20 minutes late, 30 minutes late, guess what the rule is? You stop teaching and you reteach what that kid just missed because that kid came in late.
And what is this MTS? What the hell is that?
It's a re it is it, yeah, thank you. I call it social promotion.
That's
Okay.
exactly what
That's
it
what
is.
I call it, social promotion. Okay. Because what it is it's making sure that that kid doesn't teach. And guess what? It takes away from the real teacher that wants to have fun teaching, that wants to have engagement. And it says, no, get on your little computers and you do what that program says. I have so many teachers complaining to me today, Dr. Keith, I don't get to teach because I'm doing MTSS. And I have retired as of May 14th last year. I'm enjoying it, although I do miss it. I'm fishing almost every day. But I will tell you this. What bothers me the most is when we have a lady named Dr. Angie Pelton. She's got what we call the Teaching Academy. And that's one of our other initiatives that we have. We are teaching these teachers to teach. And she said, Dr. Keith, would you come be a guest speaker? And hey, I relish it. I love it. I love it when people ask me to come speak. And I go in and I just started before the meeting, I just started asking people, hey, what do you think about MPS? And one teacher said, Dr. Keith, I used to love it. I like it now. And I said, do you mind telling me why? And they said, I start my class at 8:30, little Johnny comes in, and I got to start over. At 8:45, Betty comes in, and I got to start over. And it's sad. And I cannot tell you how many teachers agreed. And you know what? You know who else? Well, I better not say. I am going to say our darn superintendent agrees with me. He is there. That man will listen to any teacher, any custodian, anybody that wants him to listen. He's there, and he wants so much to change this system. And it's heartbreaking that he's got these initiatives that he's trying to put out there. That like I said, our city leaders like the mayor. And let me put a plug in for the mayor. I normally don't, okay, because I know he doesn't like me. But you know what? Some man got on Nextdoor the other day, and he was from Highland Gardens, and he was talking about New Year's Eve and the fireworks going off, and he said, you know what? The fireworks around here were like a scene in Private Ryan. I could not help but laugh. Okay, I thought that just the scene, but he goes, and this is our mayor's statement. He started talking about the mayor's statement, and I don't remember it verbatim, but he was telling how the mayor was talking about that some of the problem is the black boy, and how he's told these black boys that that the prison system, that they spent billions of dollars on the prison system, not education. And you know what I responded? I responded with a very long text, and I think the man took it down because he couldn't believe that Lisa Keith answered him like I did. It was almost like we had a mayor speaking to his son. He was scolding those boys and trying to give those boys an outlook on life because the mayor cared. I think sometimes our mayor people take him wrong. We blow him up as this terrible person. We blame him for crime. And I'm not just saying that. If you listen to that speech, if you listen to the speech, I wished I had it in front of me. It was like he was talking to his own son. It brought tears to my eyes that even though he was talking to the boys that didn't have the parents that really did want to take the care, And he was trying to tell him, do you not understand? I'm trying to help you not be in that $1 billion penitentiary. Your life is worth more than that.
Mhm.
So it just amazes me that I felt and still believe that we can come together. That's what we need to do. And maybe Doug Singleton in the back of his head thinks, hey, I'm trying to do the right thing. The problem with my problem with Doug Singleton is back in March, he took our president and our vice president back there with city leaders and invited them down, took their cell phones away, brought them into a room behind closed doors and at a private meeting and threatened them. I call it a threat. And he did not, it's a threat. But when you're sitting there saying, don't you understand we give you money? Well, if you're saying that in March, and he's even saying that on his own Facebook page now and on 1819, as we can take it anytime we darn well please. Well, you know what? Take it, Doug. Quit threatening and take it. And that's what he's doing. He is following through on a threat. It's personal at the children's expense, and that's what's shameful to me. Shame on Doug
But
Singleton.
I will say this, man. We got too many programs. We got to pay for this program, that program. All we should have to do, like kids come to school, the teachers teach them, they send them home. We're already feeding them lunch. We're already feeding them lunch doing summertime.
Well, I mean, the lunch and one of the meals that probably one of the only meals some of these kids get. The electricity that they walk to is some of the electricity that they only electricity they'll see for that day. I will not argue with you on the fact that I think we have too many programs. I think the good of what's going on is now I can sit down with me and the other board members, because some of our board members, I'm questioning right now, what were you elected for? Because I haven't seen a Facebook post. I haven't seen anything really. And I'm shocked that they're not in support. If they are in support, it's very low support.
But aren't we taking the fundamental responsibility of teachers away and making everybody a social worker? And it's not your fault that
You know what? I agree with you. I agree that's what I'm saying. And that's sad because you've got so many teachers there that do want to engage these kids, that do want these kids to come to the table, have fun, have life lessons. And I'm telling them now, hey, don't listen to the state. I'm probably going to get in trouble, but they don't trust me enough to say, hey, I've got your back. And I want to think I've got their back. And I know Dr. Bird, if he knows that they are teaching their guts out, and maybe they're skipping a little bit MTSS. I just think he would turn you don't understand how the state mandates are hurting education today.
So why don't these teachers get together then and fight the system? Because it ain't doing them. What we thinking right now is that
They're afraid of retaliation. They're afraid of retaliation, which is incidentally what Doug Singleton looks like he's doing now, whether he's doing it or not.
So what's more important, retaliation or the future of these kids in school?
The future of these kids in this school.
Exactly. Quit the job.
But you know what? These teachers have to pay bills just like you and me.
Yeah, they do, but can't they get together and build their own school?
You know what? That's what the military's doing. But you know what? We don't have the funds the military have, and you know that.
Well, again, somebody said we are paying for ineptitude on a municipal level.
Yep.
I don't quite get it. It's simple, pragmatic to me. Come to school, shut up, set up, and listen to the teacher. Teacher finds out you got a problem, see if you can help them. Call the parents. If you can't find the parents, call somebody else. Keep calling somebody else, or call DYS or whoever you got to call. But my Lord, no wonder teachers are wore out. Because they got to do.
You know what? The kids, when you're teaching them stuff like this MTSS stuff, boring stuff.
Yes.
You know that's what my dissertation was over. My dissertation was a comparison of at-risk students, dropout students, and regular students. You know what? The number one reason, other than pregnancy, and guess what? Those that were pregnant were coming back to school when I did this study back in 1996. Okay, the number one reason for kids dropping out was they were bored. They were tired of studying the same thing every year.
My son told me he just got out of Percy Julian this past was it this past May? Yeah, just last May, said that, listen, it is not the teachers. It's not the teacher. He said it's the chaos in the schoolroom. He
It is,
said,
and see, I just talked to a substitute teacher. Well, I'll tell you who it was. I don't mind, but hopefully he won't kill me. Timothy Bass. Remember
right.
Timothy Bass? How he
Mhm.
ran? Timothy is substituting in our schools, and I do. Like I said, I walk that walk. I want to know from every element, from the substitute teacher to the real teacher to the principal. I want to know what's going on. He said, Dr. Keith, they call, and like I said, don't forget we have a chronic absenteeism problem with teachers and students. And what happened is these teachers' planning periods are actually being listen to this, are being taken away from them. They're being taken away because, hey, you got to go study how to do MTSS. This is what's ridiculous about it. You know, they shouldn't have their planning period taken from them. And Timothy said, Dr. Keith, when I get there, I'm given a lesson plan on MTSS. Never had it. Don't know how to do it. Kids want to say, "Oh, Mr. Bass, we don't know how to do it." Then I get in trouble for not teaching it. So do you see? It is a vicious cycle, just like you said, and that's why, you know, like I said, I've got to make up mine pretty darn quick what I'm running for,
Well,
whether it's state or
that's
local.
why the public school proliferation, the private school proliferation is going to continue in academies, because I just don't understand a bunch of educated people, at least in theory, with all these degrees, can't boil water.
You know what? How many times have I said already on this program alone, we can't get outside of our own selves.
I don't know. But so getting back to the initial conversation, so do we support the efforts by the county commission, or do we fight it?
I'd fight it because it's the children's money, but it's too late now. That's going to do what he's do. He spun it the way he wanted to spin it, and quite frankly, when you kind of pay off your investors or the people that have invested time, I'm not talking about money, but when you go up to Pike Road and you say, "Hey, let me pay for your band equipment and your football equipment," and but hey, at the same time, I'm going to take the penny tax. You got a fan, or how not that you have a fan, but how do you take away from that?
Hey, you got me. Well, Dr. Keith, it's always good to talk to you. You are my representative, and I'll support you to the end of the time. I think you got a heart for the kids. I think you kind of like me. If it looks like mess, smells like mess, it's mess.
Go ahead and tell them it's mess and get the toilet paper out.
Exactly.
Toilet paper for tears for the kids and mess for the others.
Well, I hope you stay on the board some kind of way, one of these boards, because we need somebody with common sense. And and there are people who think, well, that's just the Black community because they get involved in these things. Well, if you expect nothing, you get nothing.
You're right. Hey, I got to tell you something that you don't know.
Right.
Do you know you were the first radio host prior to Mark Montiel that ever helped me?
Well,
and I'll never forget that.
Common sense ain't so common anymore.
Maybe that's why you're not on the big radio station. They're ready to kill you.
Well, listen, I don't think they closed the whole station down, but we gonna move on from here because this is actually better. We can say what we need to say.
It is, and I'm gonna pray one day that you're one of the biggest radio hosts across America.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm 68 now, so I don't better hurry make it happen.
Hey, I'm a year behind you, buddy.
Yeah, okay.
Take care. All right, love you.
Thanks a lot for coming on.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Dr. Lisa Keith from our on our school board, local school board, always tells the truth. Always just gives it to you where you can get on it, and you know how to how to take it. I don't know what age we're paying for ineptitude on a municipal level. I don't know this MTS thing. I don't know. So let me get this right. School starts at 8. You come in at 8:20. They got to start over. Somebody else comes in at 8:30. You got to start over the lesson that you're teaching because you don't want them to miss anything. Somebody comes in at 8:45 and you have to start over. What kind of environment is that leaving a teacher. I'd get the hell out of that as fast as I could. It would be more beneficial to work at McDonald's. Because when the burger's done, the burger is done. You don't recook the burger that's already done. It's done. So I don't know. I'll never understand it. Uh, Education again. It's the only thing that's gotten worse in 30 years. Everything else has gotten better, but somehow education can't seem to get it. And this whole thing with Doug and what's going on with the county commission on this thing. Lisa says we should fight against. And now I forgot one thing though. We are building a lot of new schools, and Percy Julian's getting replaced. I think it's going to be up there on Coliseum Boulevard, someplace, or Federal Drive, or someplace up there. Another schools are being so we. I guess they do need a little bit of money because well because you got to put these kids someplace. Where's the start of it happening? What school? Well, according to her, according to this program that they have, MTS or whatever it is, um, if a kid comes in late, you can't you cannot continue the course. You must start from the beginning to make sure that the child doesn't miss out what every other child has. And then if somebody else comes in 15 minutes after that, you got to start the lesson over. So we are letting the animals run the zoo. Really? Whatever happened to if you don't get here on time, go home, bring a note back from your parents, tell why you weren't here. And this is why some of our teachers are getting all messed up. And yeah, I'm all need some breakfast, so I gotta go. But anyway, it has been a great day. Don't forget the lesson of life today, and that is how far you go in life depends on you being tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, tolerant of the weak and strong, because someday in our lives, we'll all have been there if we live. Eric, call the Department of Education. It's called MTS. I'll get Lisa to send me the name of the program. And yeah, and if it is true, I don't have. Listen, Lisa do a lot of things, but she'll never lie to me. And so they got to start the class all over when the last student comes in, even if it's already begun. Yeah, MT something, but I'll find out today about it anyway. And yeah, I will certainly find out about it today. This is crazy. It's absolutely ludicrous. Okay, not the name of ludicrous. And don't forget the word of the day. This is an enigma. That's right. The word enigma means someone or something that is difficult to understand and explain. And MTS is an enigma. Okay? Enigma. It is difficult to understand or explain why a teacher has to stop her class and start all over again because little Johnny, a little Janelle, decides to come into class late. It's impervious to common sense. So anyway, well, listen, gotta go. But it has been a great day to be alive. And so whatever you do today, do it well. Always remember that it is not the falling down that gives strength. It is the getting up each and every time we fall. So keep getting up each and every time. Without resistance, the muscles don't get stronger. Good morning to you. It's a great day, an outstanding day to be alive.
Grateful heart with such sweet